So in the last session, we did up to step number 3, but before the start, I think I should give you an overview of what we were doing. So we started off with the club accounts, which is the non-profit organizations. Okay. Businesses, the objective of business is profitability. The objective of club is to servicing its members. Okay. Business prepare financial statements reporting to owners of financial performance. Club prepare financial statements reporting to its member of financial performance. But since a club is collecting money from its members, so it needs to tell them where they are spending their money. Okay. Some different terminologies. Business is assets is equal to liabilities plus capital. Club is asset is equal to liabilities plus accumulated fund. Within business, we have income statement. Over here, there's income and expenditure account. Business, we use profit or loss account or profit or loss. In club, we use the term surplus or deficit. In business, all activities are for profit. In club, there are some activities for profit. For example, tuck shop, sport shop, bar, bakery, refreshment, and any sort of event. In business, we prepare a cash book. In club, we prepare a receipt and payment account. In business, the main source of income is sale of goods. In club, the main source of income is members' subscription, which the members pay annually to the club. Secondly, other sources of the club could be donations, gifts, inheritance. Okay? These could be the other sources of a particular club. All right. Then we discussed that non-current asset in a business depreciate. The non-current assets of a club also depreciate. Okay? Inventory is there for resale. Everything that you buy for the purpose of resale is your inventory. But in club, inventory is only for the profitable activity. Like for example, if there's a bar, if there's a refreshment, if there's a bakery, inventory of bakery will only be considered as inventory. Club business pays for utilities and expenses. The club also pays for utilities and expenses. Within a business, there are accrued and prepaid expenses. Within a club, there are also accrued and prepaid expenses. Okay. A club is owned by its members. Financial statements need to be prepared for accountability. Okay. So now we discussed the steps to solve a particular club accounts question. The first step is calculate opening accumulated fund, which is the opening capital of a club. So opening assets minus opening liabilities. Okay. Now, within the list of assets and liabilities, what we first saw is subscription from members. The subscription is something which you receive from the members, right? So if you are receiving the subscription in advance, then it's a current liability because you have to provide services. But if you are receiving subscription in arrears or accrued subscription, that means it is due to be received. So it's an asset. Okay. At the start of the year, if you're given accrued subscription or arrear subscription or prepaid subscription, so prepaid subscription will be a liability and subscription in arrears will be an asset. All right.
Sir,
Yes.
Arisha told me to tell you कि उसकी light नहीं है, that's why she can't join.
Okay. Secondly, for expenses, since you pay expenses, if you're paying expenses like rent, insurance, salaries, वगैरह, if you're paying them in advance, that means you are prepaying them. You're paying them now and you will be utilizing the services later. So services becomes receivable. That is why expenses ke advance is an asset. And if you're paying expenses in arrears, that means you're paying after you have utilized services. Now it becomes a liability because it is paid after using services and the amount becomes payable for you. All right. Okay. And the important thing over here is do not forget opening bank balance from receipt and payment account. Okay? While listing down all the assets and all the liabilities, the opening assets or the opening liabilities, do not forget the opening bank balance from the receipt and payment account. Nay, I'm gonna do it today. Tasneem. All right. So opening balance of bank, okay, could be an asset or could be a liability. Number two step is prepare a subscription account. Subscription is an income account, and income account is prepared using OPPO. OPPO is OPPO. It stands for owing prepaid, owing prepaid, prepaid owing, prepaid owing. Prepaid के नीचे बैंक और owing के नीचे charge to income statement. ठीक है? So remember, whenever you have to prepare a subscription account, an income account is prepared using OPPO. Okay. Why is it? Okay, I had explained it in the last session as well. I'm gonna do it now. Subscription may owings is an asset. Asset have a debit balance as it is due to be received. So that is why it is being put on the debit side. Subscription may prepaid is a liability. Liability comes on the credit side. Okay, so this was the justification. Why do we have to prepare subscription account to calculate the major income of the club? ठीक है, subscription account इसलिए बनाते हैं. उसके बाद calculate or prepare any expense account with arrears, owings or prepaid or advance. ठीक है. Similarly, just like income, there could be an expense which might have an arrears or a prepaid. Arrears at the start or prepaid at the start, arrears or prepaid at the end. Okay. So if you see any of the expense which has arrears or prepaid, prepare the expense account. Just like income, income account is prepared using OPPO. Expense account will be prepared using OOP, which is prepaid owing, owing prepaid. Prepaid के नीचे बैंक वही thing and owing के नीचे charge to income statement. ठीक है? If there's any income account is prepared using OPPO, or expense account will be prepared using OOP. ठीक है? So this was step number 3. Okay, so this was actually the revision of the last session. Yeah. Now the step number 4 will be calculate depreciation of non-current asset. Okay, using revaluation method. Okay, and it's a hidden adjustment. When I say it's a hidden adjustment, what I mean is basically even if you're given, even if you're asked, or even if you're not asked to, you have to calculate depreciation. If you see a non-current asset, there will be a depreciation. ठीक है? इसकी hint क्या होगी? इसकी hint will be, there will be like opening and closing values of non-current asset. Hint in the question. Okay. If there would be any opening and closing value of non-current asset, that means you have to calculate depreciation. So yeah. कैसे depreciation of non-current asset using which method? Revaluation method, which is opening value plus Additions means any new asset being bought this year. Addition at cost minus disposal at net book value minus depreciation charge for the year is equal to closing value. All right. This is the formula that you have to apply in order to calculate the missing value over here, which would be your depreciation. You'll have opening value, you'll have closing value, you'll have these two as well. This is the amount that you have to calculate as depreciation of non-current assets. All right, okay. A club might not have any bad debts apart from subscription. Club में bad debts नहीं होंगे, but club में हो सकता है एक member default कर जाए. A member could be a defaulter, so that could be a possibility in a club. So bad debt regarding to subscription हो सकता है, but depreciation, yes, non-current assets of a club will be depreciated. ठीक है? Okay. So I'm sorry. So within the adjustments, we prepared subscription account, we prepared expenses account. ठीक है? Subscription account prepare कर लिया, expense account prepare कर लिया. इसके अलावा हमने depreciation calculate कर ली. ठीक है? Number 4, this was number 4. Now we look at number 5. Allocation of expenses to club and its profitable activity. It could be cafe, bar, sports shop, etc. Refreshment. Now, what do I mean by this? Allocation of expenses to club and profitable activity. What I meant is basically, for example, there's a rent. Just like the way we did in manufacturing में हमने फैक्ट्री को रेंट अलग एलोकेट किया था, ऑफिस को अलग एलोकेट किया था. So similarly, you have to allocate. Like for example, premises में 80% क्लब ओन करता है एंड 20% आपका कैफे ओन करता है आपकी premises. What you have to do is basically you have to allocate the rent 80% to the club and 20% to 80% to the club and 20% to the profitable activity. ठीक है? Okay. तो इस तरह कोई allocation दी हुई हो तो you have to do that. उसके बाद number 6, prepare refreshment trading account. मतलब you have to prepare a brief income statement of profitable activity. ठीक है? Whichever is your profitable activity. It could be tuck shop, it could be refreshment, it could be cafe, it could be bar, whatever is your trading activity. उसकी income statement कैसे बनेगी? Simple income statement बनेगी. It would be sale of refreshment less cost of sales opening inventory plus purchases. अब मैं इसमें यहाँ पे स्टेरिक बना रहा हूँ. because you might have to calculate purchases. Less closing inventory. Uh, Gross profit. Okay. Less cafe manager salary or cafe other expenses, whichever they would be, you'll subtract them and you'll have profit from cafe trading. Now I had made these sterics with purchases. Why was that? The reason was purchases might have to be calculated using purchase ledger कंट्रोल अकाउंट. ठीक है. एंड हमें कैसे पता चलेगा कि परचेज कैलकुलेट करनी है? उसकी हमें हिंट होगी. Hint in question would be if opening and closing payables or creditors, the old term, whenever we'll do an older question, we'll get this term. For purchases are given. Just like the depreciation wali hint, I told you if you'll have opening and closing values of non-current asset in a question, there's a hint that you have to calculate depreciation. Similarly, another hint in the question would be they would never ask you to calculate purchases. If they have given you opening and closing values of payables, you have to make a purchase ledger control account, and then you have to calculate the value for purchases. PLCA, opening payables, closing payables, purchases, this is what you have to calculate. Payment to supplier. Now, this payment to supplier will be given on the payment side of receipt and payment account. Okay. This will be given, opening and closing payables will be given. Purchase is the amount that you have to calculate. ठीक है. अच्छा, एक और इसके अंदर ये है note. If opening and closing payables are not given, payment for purchases is the actual purchase. By this, what I meant to say over here is if this opening and closing payables are not given, that means whatever is the payment for purchase is going to become the actual value for purchase. ठीक है? Okay जी. Refreshment trading account के लिए के बाद number 7 is prepare income and expenditure account. Which is simple. ठीक है? List down all the income of a club. Subscription के अलावा it could be profit from refreshment, other incomes like donations, entry fee of an event, and there could be more. and just below this expenditure, the expenses of a club, list them down. So income में से expense minus किए, you will have either surplus or deficit. ठीक है? Then you have to prepare number 8 SOFP if required. In the past 10, 15 years, I guess, they have only asked once to prepare the statement of financial position. Okay, so it's just the ones they have asked, so they can ask for it. हालांकि जब उस वक्त पूछा था, I remember it was not in the syllabus. Statement of financial position of the club was not in syllabus. But now they have included it. और अगर include नहीं भी किया, तो since they had asked it, that means there are chances that they might ask for it. So we'll do a couple of questions. It's the same SOFP as of any business. बिल्कुल same होती है. सिर्फ फाइनेंस बाय में ओपनिंग एक्यूमुलेटेड फंड में सरप्लस प्रॉफिट जो है वो ऐड हो जाएगा, डेफिसिट होगा तो सबट्रैक्ट हो जाएगा. So these were the steps of solving a club accounts question. I know you might be finding it difficult. Yes, I'm pretty sure. But with practice and by following all these steps, okay, any question of club accounts can easily be solved. Okay, you have to follow these steps. Okay, I have recorded this with you. तो वैसे भी एक आसानी हो जाएगी. तो this is something which is and I think following the steps in sequence will definitely help you come through a difficult question as well.